Hello, Mr. Gheorghiu.
How are you?
Good, good. Yourself?
Well,
So
and so.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. So today we look at a game with Fedorowicz.
Yes.
Correct?
We start with Fedorowicz. Fedorowicz was one of the best young American players in this period. Finally, later on, in a few years, he became one of the most promising American grandmasters of his generation. And he played very nice tactical games usually. So finally, our game that we show today is no exception. It will be a very interesting one, full of surprises, tactical surprises, and so on. And finally, with a very beautiful ending. You'll see. Yeah. So I play with white. I play d4, g6, c4. Finally, we come in some kind of King's Indian, but a little bit different because he wanted to avoid the Zemish, of course. And this move order avoids the Zemish. White can't play the Zemish because is a big difference in the order
because
of
moves, of the black, because he avoided the.
He avoided the Zemish, yes.
He was scared about your favorite.
I don't know. Opening. He liked it more, you know. I mean, just this move order, which is okay. The move order is all right for black. So you see now, white played with knight f3 instead of f3. This is the difference. Zemish is with f3, but in this move order, Zemish is not the best because black is free to play another move order, and he gets equality very quickly. In 6 to 7 moves, the game is almost even. You know,
if you play f3.
If you play f3, yeah, but. Like this is different. It's not Zemish anymore, but we have some other tactical possibilities later on. You see.
Okay.
So c6. Okay, bishop e2, bishop g7, and now d5. D5 is considered the best move. I mean, you close the center, and we will see what happens later on. White is free to play on the king side or the queen side. It depends what is the plan chosen by black, you know. So he tries to close also because it's the best possibility. You know, if he takes in d5 or if he doesn't take, is already very dangerous for black. If he doesn't take immediately, he can lose a pawn in a few moves. You see. Because here, for instance, knight f6 or knight e7 is already a big mistake. He loses a pawn.
Knight f6?
Yes, because now you take in c6, he takes in c6, and queen takes d6, and black is already lost. I mean, this position was already very bad for black. You know?
Yeah.
So he has to be careful. c5 is okay. c5 is a good move. Yeah. So now g4 is a little bit strange, but it's a very good move. You see, now you want to fix the position on the king's side. White has a small advantage here, and depends what is the move order for black again, you know. I mean, if he plays normally something with h6 or h5 or knight f6, white is always a little bit better because he has a little bit more space, you see. So g4 is all right. But after g4, you can't castle anymore on the king side, yes. So knight f8, he wants to show you that black has a good game already, because g4 is a little bit strange very quickly in the opening, you know.
But your plan here was to castle long or?
Well, if possible, if you have time to castle long, it's very good. I mean, white has a very good game. But we'll see. The game will be different because I tried something else, you know, in the few moves later on here, you know.
Okay.
So after knight f6, knight d2, yes, h6, h4, knight g8. Well, again, it's a little bit strange, but he wants to show you that this plan, you know, with g4 and h4 very quickly is a little bit risky for white, and black has no problem. That is the idea for black, you know. Now, if you play h5, is nothing special. I mean, white doesn't have anything special. If you play g5, you open the game a little bit for black, you know, because he can take in g5, and if you take with h pawn, then he has already the file. The h file is for black, you know, for the moment.
Yes.
And black has no special problems in the next moves, you see. But now comes the first surprise. Here I played before. Before is a very tactical move. Now, if you take, of course, in h4 is bad because you destroy the structure. The pawn structure for black will be completely destroyed. It's not good to take in h4, of course. It's a big mistake. And the idea is that you try to open completely the queen side for white, because white has more pieces on the queen side for the moment. Yeah. So now the normal move here is b6. If he plays b6, white is a little bit better. Nothing, not very much, but it's okay. It's better for white. But now taking in b4 is already a little bit risky because it seems that black has very big problems now in the next moves. So queen a4 check, knight d7. Of course, he wants to put the knight in c5, if possible, very quickly. If he arrives in c5 and the knight has a good position there, black is okay. Black has a very good game. But the game is not so clear, you see. Now knight b5, and it seems that black didn't see everything, because now after knight c5, knight takes d6 or even queen b4 immediately, white is clearly better. Well, let's not. Here after knight f8 is not very clear, but instead of knight takes d6, white can take immediately in b4 and is better without any problem. But okay, he tries to complicate a little bit more the game, and instead of knight c5 immediately, he played here. He played bishop f8. Now he gives you the move, and if you take in b4, he has time to come immediately to c5, and afterwards a6, and you have to come back with the knight, and you lost a little bit of time. Yeah. So the plan is not so dangerous for black. Now the second surprise, c5. White gives the second pawn, and now if you take with d, normal, you take it. Yeah? After the simple move d6, black is already lost. You see? It's terrible position for black. Yeah. He loses something. At least the exchange made threats, very unpleasant for black. More or less lost already. So now he took, surprisingly, I consider that the position is almost winning for white here, But from now on, you see, he'll play very nice moves, and the game will be extremely complicated, He took with the knight, and now you have to take in d6, of course. And after king e7, knight c8 check. Now, again, king f6. The big surprise here is the queen is attacked, and you don't have time to take in b4, because if you take in b4, you are lost. After knight d3 check, you lose the queen. You have to take in d3, and the bishop from f8 takes the queen in b4. So the best move is to come back with the queen in d1.
But why he didn't took here the knight?
Because if he takes immediately, you have time to take with the queen in b4. The king is in e7. It's pinned,
the knight is pinned.
Yeah, but like this, he goes away with the king. The king wants to go back in g7,
okay.
To be safe in g7.
Yes.
More or less safe, you see?
Yes.
So now, if you don't have time to take him before, you have to play queen d1. Okay, now he recaptures in c8. And, okay, black has a pawn up, but the king is a little bit in a dangerous situation. The bishop in b2 is very strong. And white, in my opinion, has a very strong initiative. Maybe not winning already, but very unpleasant for black, you see. So bishop d6, of course, has to defend in e5, at all costs. So f4. Now king g7. Fortunately for black, he has time to play king g7, because now if you take immediately in e5, he has time to come with queen h4 check. He takes in h4 with check, and it's extremely complicated again, It's not clear who is better, But, of course, you don't take in e5, you play instead g5. You close the game there. you don't give the possibility to come with the knight in f6. The king stays on the, big diagonal, very unpleasant, and black has many problems here. So knight d7, of course, it doesn't give the possibility to take immediately in e5. Now everything is defended for the moment. Yeah. Now rook c1. Very unclear. Rook c1 gives the possibility to trade the rook, but white plays for initiative. The idea is to come later on with the other piece attacking the pawn from e5, knight c4, if possible. So he took in g5, I took in g5, and he took in c1, queen takes c1. And now queen b6. It seems that black, has already a good game because the queen has the big diagonal. The king in e1 is more or less, it seems to be in a dangerous position, but white has a very strong game here and probably has in a few moves a winning position. So rook f1 on the f file, important. And queen e3. That was the position, where black was hoping he has already solving all problems. But now the big surprise, knight c4. After knight c4, he has two possibilities: trade the queen in c1 or play queen g3 check. Okay, if he plays queen g3 check, after king d1, everything is clear. Is no possibility to defend anymore the pawn from e5 later on, you see. Because you threaten always queen f4 or queen a1, and the big pin is completely destroying the black's position. So now he has to take in c1. What did he play in our game? He gave a check, yeah?
He gave a check, yes.
Yeah, okay, king d1. And now bishop b8. And now white takes in e5. Now rook h4 is the last hope, but it's already too late. The idea here, instead of rook h4, he could take in e5 with a piece, with the knight or with the bishop.
To give up a piece?
Let's see what happens, yeah.
Okay.
Instead of rook h4. If he takes with the knight, yeah?
Yes.
After the simple move d6, he loses a piece.
True.
At least a piece.
Yes.
You see, the battery, knight c4 and bishop b2 is deadly, in this position. He can't move anything.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So he has to take with the bishop. If he takes with the bishop, then after knight takes e5, knight takes e5, no?
Yes.
And now queen a1 wins, queen d4 wins, everything wins, Again, he loses at least a piece.
Yeah.
So rook h4 was the last hope, but I told you, is a little bit too late. And now the end will be very nice, you see. So e6 check, knight e5. Well, it's very simple from now on, but very beautiful, he played knight f6. He loses very nicely the position, but I told you it's much too late. So now takes in e5, bishop takes e5, and now white wins with any move, of course, it doesn't matter, you can win a piece, you can win everything. But this continuation is the most beautiful, f8 queen, king takes, queen c8 check, king g7, and now he resigned. There's no moves at all,
Yeah.
If he takes here in b2, for instance, queen f8 check and mate in two moves, Queen f8 check or queen d7 check, and everything is mate everywhere, so yeah.
Nice.
So for instance, king h7 now, okay, king h7, queen e7 check, king g8, rook f8 mate.
Yes.
Good, the game was very beautiful, but from a certain moment up to, 20 moves like this, it seemed very complicated. But later on, white won convincingly,
the final attack was...
the final attack is unstoppable, White has a fantastic game everywhere, But the idea was very nice, the idea to b4, and so Okay, he gave the chance, taking him before, because if he played b6, the game was more quiet like this, But taking him before was very risky. But at the first glance was okay for black. I mean, he
Yeah.
took the risk. Yeah.
To gain some pawn
Yeah,
or two.
yeah, of course.
All right.
Well, anyway, it was beautified from this tournament, from this big tournament. Well, the game was very beautiful, of course. Yes. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you, Mr. Gheorghiu.
You're welcome.